Brother, we are live, so kick it off like we do every
This
single
is
time.
about as live as it gets. High Phrase Podcast. I'm Alite, A-L-I-T-E. In front of me, Wu-Tang's for the children.
A to the D, J. Oh, and I got, before we enter our guests, I just want to let you know, I got my first wedding call.
Oh,
Booking for June 2022.
damn.
I'm like, girl, you think I'm going to be fucking still doing this June 2022?
They're very optimistic.
That's crazy. That is the bleakest forecast of my life, that I'm hitting up a wedding in Pitt Meadows in June 2022. Like, my life won't be any better. So, right, so this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm booking it,
Yeah.
but I'm booking a DJ. I'm going to take a DJ with me. I'm not going to do
The pimpery.
Yeah, I'm just going to go and MC it. Okay. Tell some jokes, have a couple laughs, drink some food, eat their buffet. Hopefully buffet's back by then, right? And then I'm going to bounce.
You're going to DJ pimp.
Yeah, that's it, man. But, dude, 2020, we could be famous by June 2020.
Hey, man. Cheers to that.
We could be flying across the country.
How about not famous, just rich? I'd rather have the rich. I'd rather have the rich than the fame.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or introduce our guests to the
We
good
got
people.
Faraz in the building.
Last minute.
Thanks for being our guest today, man.
Of course.
Interesting little backstory. You came to shoot. We had already talked about getting you on the podcast because you produce some banging beats and you make some pretty dope
Fan
music.
City.
So the plan was to already have you on, but
A little earlier than anticipated.
yeah. So he came to help us with some video work, make us look good, and the guest that we were supposed to have had unforeseen circumstances preventing him from being here.
You know what's fucked
Faraz
up
jumped in the
about
center
that?
seat,
He missed Donut Day.
right?
Daryl, you missed fucking Donut Day, buddy. Darren, sorry.
You missed the donuts, and then what was last week? You had cookies.
Last week was cookies.
God,
Nice
trying to get people
Are
fat.
you cookie or are you donut guy?
Probably I had more cookies than
Oh,
donuts.
look at you. Wow, spitting game, eh? High capping like that. I've had so many cookies. Wow. It's crazy. Thank you for coming on our show last minute, brother. I really appreciate it. So tell us what you do. Tell me what you do.
What I do professionally?
Yeah. Start off with that shitty ass question in Vancouver.
Exactly.
That's the worst question you can fucking possibly ask somebody.
It's
What do you do? Hi, my name's Mike. Oh, hi, my name's fucking John. Oh, hey, Mike. What do you do?
Very, very Hollywood. Very Hollywood.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna
me and my
ask you.
sister, we started a business working with kids with learning disabilities.
Oh, nice.
Been doing that for 10 years.
Cool.
And I've done music on the side for about 10 years.
Nice.
Released a project like I'd say last year, 2018. In 2018, and that's pretty much what I do.
You seem super chill.
I'm too chill.
You seem like the perfect guy to work with kids.
Exactly.
You know what's amazing? He actually worked with my kid, my son, for
I
math.
worked with him for a few over the summer.
Yeah, for a few months and helped him pass math.
Oh, no shit.
Okay,
He did. Thanks.
Dude, you know what? I'm going to say this with all respect.
Yeah.
All right? I never disrespect anybody. I say this with all respect. I feel that if you taught me math or tutored me, that I would be so scared that I would learn it. Your voice and your demeanor makes me freak. Feel like at any moment you're going to fly off the hook and just cause havoc.
Now, interestingly,
He's got an anger problem?
I've known him since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's not like we spent we haven't spent a lot of time together.
Mhm.
But just from knowing him, I don't think I've ever seen you raise your voice.
No, I'm pretty chill. That's
Overall.
why I'm probably not the best guest. for this.
That's good, though. We like chill guys. We like it.
Exactly. Which is a little me more of a behind the scenes type.
Oh, I like it.
What's the name of the group?
BearClub.
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 And it's you and
Me and my cousin Talib.
does he have an artist name or is he just Talib?
We go by our names.
Nice.
You know,
So Faraz and Talib make
Exactly.
BearClub.
you gotta do it.
Represent nothing but authenticity.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's so many different ways to approach this conversation. And I think one of the things I want to talk about, because I've been seeing it a lot, and I know you're normally in the know with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Still to this day, right now in the U.S. government, Trump just gave his CPAC speech.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Okay.
And talked about the election being rigged still.
Yeah.
And talked about how they were robbed and the Supreme Court was in on it and everybody was in on it and against him.
Yeah.
Do you pay a lot of attention to what's happening in this side of the planet?
And somewhat, but I say like because things happen so quick nowadays,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be on top of everything. There's no
Sorry.
way it's impossible.
It's tough.
But if you're into politics, seems like you are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
definitely going to be on top of things more than I will.
Yeah, the news cycle is constant.
Yeah, it's too much though.
Yeah, I hear that.
It's what our world is made of, though. This is, let's get it right. North America is this fucking political mess. You know, we thrive on judgment and we thrive on rankings and about placement and where we stand and status. Like, this is all the shit that people around the world hate us for, but we really want to be part of as well.
No.
Right? So we are, in a sense, victims of our own culture.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have to live through this. All three of us in this room, I can tell right now, all three of us don't want to abide by this shit that we live by, right? But we have to play the game because we're in North America.
And you mean more being this capitalist,
Yeah, you have to.
kind of fake democratic socialist economy political setup that we have. Yeah.
It's like if you live somewhere where it's Muslim law, you're living the Muslim way.
Sharia law.
You're
Yeah,
living
you-
Sharia law,
You got some handcuffs in your life.
right? You live in Jerusalem, you're living Jerusalem rules. Like, doesn't matter where you go. This is our culture. Our culture is greed. Our culture is status, ladder climbing.
If you had a choice of a kind of government to live under, what would your choice be?
Ooh, okay. So socialist democratic is always it's in like the what would you call it, like the thought process of it all, it makes the sense the most,
Yeah.
because you're trying to give power to the people the most while also providing certain regulations that you have to give. In a way, you can't have complete free regulation to the world.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a certain group of people looking after
Making decisions.
in a way,
Mhm.
and they're not always going to make the decisions that you want to make, right?
Yeah.
So not everybody's going to be happy with everything that they do, but I do think it's probably the best setup that we have in the world so far.
Yeah, agree.
And because it's not perfect, it's going to be viewed by the people living it as like, oh, this is horrible.
The worst thing in the world.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, it's just like you need a little bit of outside perspective then.
Yeah.
You need to be able to see like, okay, how is the rest of the world living
Mhm,
versus
mhm.
you? And I think like you really judge a country based off of the lowest class and how they get treated
100%.
and what kind of things we set up for them to at least have some sort of quality of life.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
quality of life really proves what kind of country you are.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think Gandhi said something similar to that effect. Your parents are from your
dad's
mom's
from
from Fiji and your
Yeah.
mom's from.
from India, but she came here when she was like 7.
Okay. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
Yeah.
it's a crazy time to be there too right now
We're in
in
Fiji?
India.
Oh, in India?
Yeah. Absolute chaos.
Well, is it because of the coronavirus or is it because of what's happening? I don't.
Well, I mean, the Prime Minister Modi, he wants to have like an ethno state of Hindus.
Oh,
only,
yes. I
right?
heard this.
And right now they're persecuting Muslims and Sikhs, and they have a big
Yes.
debacle with the farmers. And you look
Farmers, it's horrible.
across the world, and I can never understand this. I think I've asked almost everybody the same question. Across the world, heads of state that are men primarily.
Yeah.
They're all the kind of men that no man that I know would ever want to associate with or hang out with. But this popular cult-like effect of electing weasels. Essentially, they're like the lowest kind of guy that you would want to be around.
Yeah.
What is with this mass populace voting for these cockroaches of men?
I think, okay, so in a sense, like, if you're not known, then we probably wouldn't know, like, how each political family has, like, gained power in each country. So, where does each leader come from? Maybe they come from my bad. Maybe they come from a long line of political
It's a
family.
great
Yeah.
ringtone, actually.
Maybe they come from some sort of power structure of like, okay, these people have already been in power for so long that their offspring or whatnot generations past will have like a leg up to get into those positions anyways. That happens here as well.
Yeah.
With like the current prime minister, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be through that.
Mm-hmm.
It could be through I guess nowadays it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, for real.
And I feel like things move between a liberal mindset, or like, what would you call it, a progressive mindset to a conservative mindset.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're shifting really towards a conservative mindset, and they're towards that hard right ideals. Does that mean that they'll go forever that way? No. Right? Usually, like, it ping pongs back and forth, and I don't know why people can't see that when you go from like in the States, where you go from a Republican government and everybody's like, no, we need Democratic. Oh, no, we need it. No, it's just like a ping pong effect. It goes back and forth every single time.
Yeah, it does.
So
I think it's like they're really smart about how they craft it. Even AOL, what's her name? AOC, right? Like it's even.
I love AOC.
Yes, I love her too. Even her narrative is still just a new form of what we're doing. It never really changes because you can't give all control away to the people.
No.
You need to have control. It doesn't matter how you dress it up and call it socialism, progressivism. It doesn't matter. It's all just other forms of control. It's different ways, to make us believe and follow, right? And to hopefully grow is what we're really trying to do.
I think you have to, because there's so many people. But I think the problem is how limited the choices of the people that govern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have one mayor for a city, you have one prime minister, you have a handful of people that govern in Canada, these 38 million people.
Yeah.
That's not a just society, that's not an equal society, it makes no sense. We're tribal, people are tribal, we come from tribes, we're tribes.
Extremely.
Yeah. You need tribes of people to govern tribes of people, and it has to be done in a way where every tribe has representation. So if the population of the city is 25% East Indian, then there should be a 25% representation in the position of government. Yeah, you should be able to create a demographic that represents the populace. And if you can't, then you're not doing the populace justice.
Yeah, populace never gets justice. That's part of being the populace. It's been like that since the beginning of time, right? You know your stake and you know your place in this world.
So we're just weak?
No, you know what it is, dude? It's that, we've come into this thing. It's like Christmas, okay? I don't celebrate Christmas. And people are like, oh, you're Jewish? I'm like, do I fucking look Jewish? Is my name Oldenstein? Right? No. All right? No, it's not. I'm Jewish. I'm not religious. Nothing. I just don't buy into the shit.
Right.
I don't have kids, right? I don't have pets that give a shit, right? I don't have a girl who cares either. So it's good. I don't buy into it, man. And our culture, we have bought into this. We have bought into the standings and the rankings, right? Look at what's happening with this female soon-to-be president. The clock, we are seeing it happen before our eyes with Kamala.
Yeah.
Joe Biden needs somebody to talk for him. Blah, 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 blah. He starts babbling and his wife's like, hey.
He's dying, man. He's dying.
It's just a ploy. Taking her, just put her in the presidency already. We all know what's going to happen, right? And it's just they're trying to change our narrative and make us softer.
You have to, because we have already been shown. Well, we've already been shown that white people don't give a fuck, man. They will storm the main centers of power in the country. They don't give a fuck. They've shown it. So if you just put Kamala in power, dude, she's gonna get kidnapped.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, dude, she'll get kidnapped. She'll be on that weird ass.
It's gonna start a civil war.
Right-wing conspiracy website that they have with their live stream nonsense, and fucking Alex Jones will be narrating it. It'll be. Listen,
the vice presidency is the fluffer on the porn set. Okay. Oh, hey. Okay, let's just cut. Let's just rewind that here. Can we please get the vice president out here? Please get him. Right, and that's all it is. It's a shit job. Nobody cares. It's it doesn't matter really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The presidency is the thing, and if they put a black woman in the presidency, which they're going to do, it's going to make America pop off.
White people are gonna lose their shit.
But it will also be the change that you're talking about that you need. You're gonna need something massive to pop off.
But under like a Democratic Party, she has to toe party lines.
For sure.
Like it's not like she can just go AWOL whatever she wants.
Exactly.
Like there's higher people involved beyond the government.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't really know who do they call? What's the Democratic side? What's that guy's name?
Soros.
And
George
then you have,
Soros.
like the Koch brothers on the
Yeah.
Republican side or whatnot.
Yeah.
That's like true power.
Yeah.
Comes from
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah.
That is beyond wealth.
That's beyond one. That's
Do you believe in conspiracies?
I enjoy your conspiracies a lot.
Why don't you tell us about your favorite one?
See, the thing about me, dude, it's like when you're this chill, it's like it's hard to get into the conspiracy, the heavy, deep conspiracy.
Well, the thing is, like, it's not even a conspiracy. Like you mentioned Soros, you mentioned the Koch
Yeah,
brothers.
the Koch brothers not a conspiracy.
Yeah, this
It's
is
a conspiracy at all.
blatant. And if you tell people this, they would look at it as a conspiracy. They either two oil billionaires are funding the Republican side of the government. They're like, ah, shut the fuck up, you're crazy. But it's on paper. They just donate countless dollars.
It's pretty open.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck.
So,
They use those super PACs and they just
Yeah.
fill it with money and just let them use them as an ATM.
Yeah.
Yeah. The day that they made corporate campaign contributions legitimate, they burned their entire democracy.
completely.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean, we do the same thing here. We have a prime minister that bought a fucking pipeline.
Mm.
Since when is the federal government in the pipeline business? Does it make any sense that Trudeau buy the pipeline?
No, I think that's just part of the control.
It just makes no
It was
sense.
something that was going to get out of control
Yeah.
for the Canadian government. They saw it happening, and they needed to step in and either disrupt it or actually succeed. Right?
Well, now it's over because Biden banned it.
Yeah.
They can't do anything pipeline related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It's really tragic that you have to fight hard like this for everything you want. It's tragic that people of color can't just fucking have a peaceful life in this continent.
Mm-hmm.
It makes zero sense to me, man. I understand the pressure though of how much people are around you, right? It's like, I've been in a big prison.
Yeah.
Where there was like 5,000 people.
Jeez. Holy shit.
Okay? And it was,
Yeah.
and 80% of the prison was outside.
80%.
80%. The only thing that you had inside was your cell. That's it.
Wow.
Is it overcrowded?
It's hugely overcrowded. Yeah, it was fucking jammed to the gills. And out of those 5,000 people, there was like, I used to think there was 2,000, but I would say maybe there was more like 1,000 women
Wow.
In the
in the prison.
general population?
Yeah. So 4,000
Around
men.
dudes?
Yeah, all mixed together. And the girls had their own unit.
That's
But
insane.
they were able, yeah. So you can imagine. The only thing is that people were pretty decent, there's trannies there and shit too. There's like tranny hookers at the fucking tranny hookers. Like, holy. I'd have to walk past them.
Transgender, please.
Pardon?
Transgender.
Hookers.
It's a different gen. Like, I'm part of like the
Yes.
mixed blend of
80s
that
generation.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I understand what you mean. It doesn't mean any harm.
No,
I mean
understand.
no harm.
Yeah, no.
I'm a surprise.
I know.
don't even know.
It's interesting
We
because
used to play video games with cords on the controllers.
well, I have a 19 and a 13-year-old, and they're a part of this
that's a different
generation,
generation.
and they police these things.
Yeah,
and
and
they hear
I
it.
appreciate it.
And I'm surprised sometimes because sometimes I catch myself saying some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's right.
I never mean.
You're not from the 80s.
Oh yeah.
You don't get it.
Listen, I'm way back in the day when it was just gay supporter. Like I was 100%, and I had friends who were drag queens, and I would be in their shows, and that fucking videos about their things. And I hope it never comes out.
Oh, wait till you blow up.
That's the video.
Wait
And
till you blow
I know you all have one too, right?
Nah,
the video that might come out.
I don't, man. I don't.
No.
I have maybe some great.
No masturbating on camera, sending it to your ex-girlfriend.
Nope, not at all.
No, like.
Well, put it.
What was what kind of format was that in? Fucking, at that time, were you
It was
VHS?
camcorder, yeah, VHS, yeah.
Did you have to mail it?
Fuck, I don't know. Maybe that will be the ultimate thing. The low tech
It'll bring you down. It'll bring you
just
down.
fucking- It's not worth
You
it.
need one of those like automatic rewinders.
Yeah. Yes, it was horrible, man. Fuck.
And well, see, for me, it's a blessing, man. I've been with the same girl since I was 17, before there were smartphones.
Well, I wasn't.
We never had to send each other anything. We were always together, so
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
It's a different.
I escaped that whole thing, man.
No, it's an insane time.
Yeah.
And it's not even. It's like kids.
Yes.
These are like grade 6, 7 kids.
Yeah.
Doing grown-up things.
Making terrible decisions online.
Horrible decisions.
Yeah.
But is this just part of the evolution of us as human beings? You know, from the way we got our information to the way you get your information at the same age, there had to be evolution in the species. You had to learn things quicker because there was more exposure to it, and the more exposure there is coming up, it's right. Then you know, kids are going to learn even younger.
Yeah, I think we got to change the curve of what they're using the medium for, right? There's a lot of brilliant kids, man. A lot of brilliant kids doing a lot of brilliant things online and stuff too, and they're pushing the boundaries of what's considered cool on social media the other way. I just think we gotta change the curve. There's too many kids doing the stupid shit.
Yeah,
but that'll always be the majority.
And that's
they're always
why
shit.
You're an educator of sort, for the most part. Why is that the case?
Why is it the case that
we always go to the lowest common denominator? We're just that lazy and dysfunctional.
I think it's like, okay, if you're talking about like the top % of people doing incredible things, it takes a lot of work to do incredible things.
Absolutely.
So you're kind of sacrificing simple pleasures for like a long-term goal.
Absolutely.
In sort of a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think most of us, probably including me, are willing to do that because it's like I haven't invented something to change the world.
Right.
Or I haven't done anything that's like would put my name in history forever. So obviously I'm part of the lower tier people rather than this kind of thing. So I think it takes like a lot more effort than people think.
So they're the exception to the rule.
Exception to the rule, right? It's like when you say, what do they say? They say to people who are less fortunate, and they look at whether it's in the U.S. it's black people or whatnot or whatever, and they'd be like, look, that guy, see, he's an NFL superstar. If you work hard enough, you can get wherever you want. But it's like where people are starting off is not at the same place.
Yeah.
So it's like some people can give a minimal effort and have a road towards like huge success, and some people have to give the most incredible effort for a normal lifestyle.
Right.
So it's like I don't think there's many people who are willing to like put, and we shouldn't expect everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
To be able to do that,
Yeah.
or else they wouldn't be considered extraordinary. It'd just be normal.
Everybody would be exceptional.
Yeah. So then that would just be the new norm.
Yeah.
It's the most important part, dude.
What do you like about video?
What
year were you born?
1988.
So 1988. All right.
Yeah.
So you were born unto the video era.
Oh, yeah,
Right there, right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as you became conscious about life and what was going on, you knew about the internet. You know what I mean? That was there. You were just playing games and shit probably at that point.
Oh, exactly.
Not on any social sites or anything like that. Do you remember your first internet
First internet
contact?
experience?
Yeah.
I'd say grade 4. A friend of mine came from Hong Kong, and he's like, "Yo, there's this thing called Hotmail," right?
Yeah.
And then we put it on the thing, so I put hot MALE hotmail.com.
Oh no!
And I guess back then
That's
somebody had hotmail.com.
Yeah.
So I was like, "What is this, dude?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "No," and then we were on the school computers, right? So we had
chats and shit on there.
right. No, so then he kind of showed me the right one, right? From there, and that was like the first experience of like electronic mail.
Yeah.
At that time, there wasn't many things that you can do online. There was no Google. There's not many search engines at that time. It was just a crazy thing to be able to like message somebody an email.
Yeah, you remember
and
that.
it goes, and it's like, and we're just doing it beside each other. Dude.
Yeah.
He's fucking right there.
Yeah.
Right.
It was pretty mind-blowing.
And now we hate it.
Well, now we just do it.
No.
Now we take it for granted.
Emails have turned into phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one answers their phone. No one checks their email.
Yeah.
No, it's the worst answering an unknown number.
Yeah. Or just
It's the
any number.
worst
Just any
experience.
number.
Yeah.
Everybody I'm around when their phone rings, they'll do the same thing. hit the volume button.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? For me though, it's because I'm from a generation. If we're talking, I'm just like, you know what? I'll call back. Like, I don't want to interrupt a human moment to go to a fucking tech moment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I try to be conscious of that because we could do this all day.
Yeah.
If you really did. I know people do it all day. It's their job. They just do it all day on the phone, right? You know, and it's like, no, man. Like, it's just too much. So you got that interaction with the internet.
Yeah, but I'm a little different. Yeah. I got, like, Instagram is the first social media thing that I got, and that was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're a late adapter. You adapted in a different way.
Yeah, like...
He just doesn't really care.
I like tech, and I like things like that, so I was, like, aware of everything happening. Mm-hmm. But I didn't care in terms of like the social media aspect of it. Yeah. It just didn't entice me in a way, and then like, oh dude, see, because like I'm not the most like I don't really care about being the most macho dude, but in terms of like our generation, they're like, okay, like we're just gonna post like selfies of ourselves. Like it's kind of like stupid, but that's just my opinion. You know. It's like, I don't know.
It's what happened, man.
It's just a different take because everybody you talk to, everybody you know, has every account.
Yeah.
Automatically, I don't use that, but I have it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you just don't even use it.
No, I have a Facebook, but I don't have anybody on. I have it for Marketplace because Marketplace is pretty sick, too. Marketplace is pretty sick.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. You got to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, other than that, nothing. Man,
it's good, man.
I don't like doing YouTube comments. Like, I don't like commenting on anything.
Yeah,
but Reddit's pretty good. But I've never commented or posted.
Yeah,
it's weird having the interaction. Like, it's a weird.
It is a weird life.
I guess if you start doing it, it'll normalize.
You know what a weird interaction is? It's a total segue, but the first time we had a conversation about hip hop,
yeah,
I was actually shocked because like I would go to his place with Rosie, and you know the families would all sit and talk, and me and him would just kind of shoot the shit and talk, and he'd start talking about hip hop and like real hip hop, like real dope rappers. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then it turned into the beat making and all that stuff that you do. When did you first come into contact with hip hop?
Hip hop? Oh, probably through my cousins on my dad's side, which you know them, and I'd say just like experiencing what they're listening to. Like a lot of that stuff back in the day was obviously West Coast hip hop. A lot of people here were really drawn to West Coast hip hop. I guess like it yeah, they just like really gravitated towards it, right? And everybody kind of wanted to be that and like live that lifestyle and like kind of portray that kind of image, So that was probably first experience. Obviously like Doggy Style, Chronic, first Chronic.
That's revolutionary when that's your first exposure to hip hop. Like, I know my exposure to it was amazing. Like, it changed my fucking life. So I can imagine if it's your first exposure to it, how mind blowing it would have been.
Because sonically, it's so perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything they did on those albums, like that Doggy Style album, I think is like the perfect hip hop album front to back.
Yeah, skits, everything. I'd say like
production quality.
I'm still like I'm a little different too. I like a lot of the new guys, and I like where people are taking it right now.
Who do you like right now?
I like a mixture of people. I'd say Earl Sweatshirt. I'd say he probably made best rap album 2018.
Wow.
Easy by far. I'd say I like Odd Future, Tyler. He had an incredible album. Igor was incredible. You could like not call it a rap album, but easy.
It's not a rap album. No.
But it like that's where he comes from, So he wouldn't call it a rap album. Yeah. He just called it music,
He's a lunatic.
He just called it a pop album, right? Which makes sense. Yeah. And I like Roddy Ricch. Okay. Roddy Ricch made probably one of the best albums, 2019. I'd say.
Roddy Ricch. It's so funny because everyone you're naming, like Ty always tells me about, right?
Yeah.
And then
no, he has an incredible album.
But okay, here's the thing with me, okay? The Roddy Ricch sound, right?
It's incredible.
He sounds like he's like the there's no the voice is just like
Yes.
well, the whole thing is auto tune, right? From front to
But he
back.
has so much tone to it. It's like anybody who's like everybody uses autotune
Yeah.
in what
A form of
form
it.
of capacity, whether you're using Melodyne or you're using pitch correction
Yeah,
in
yeah,
some from probably 1980, right? They've been using it, right? And it's something that kind of everybody's used to. Everybody's used to perfect vocals, right? So you have to pitch correct things, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think there's like a natural ability of it, and then there's those guys who use it for a certain effect.
Yeah.
But Roddy has like 3 voices in one song. Like
wow.
he's incredible.
And it's
I think
it's
he's
funny 'cause
incredible.
we've had this conversation at my house to death because I give
With you and Ty.
yeah I give all new artists a chance because I want to hear what's current and what's popping, and some of them are dope and some of them are not.
Yeah.
And me and him have argued this for he loves Roddy Ricch too.
Yeah, he's
so
incredible.
Roddy, yeah.
I'd say he's like if we're talking about like choruses and hooks, like dude, if you're hitting like 9 or 10 of those in one album where it's like these incredible hooks, like this very melodic and catchy sort of movement that you bring,
It's a hit album.
it's so hard to do that. It's so hard to do something like that.
Yeah, it
And I
is.
don't think people understand how difficult
Oh,
it
yeah.
is to do something
yeah.
where you're able to have like commercial success on 10 songs on an album.
It's so tough.
It's insane.
What are some other artists have done that you can
Well, I
remember?
mean, in hip hop, there's you got your legends. I think.
But 10 like hits on an album. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and whether or not like they went like I don't
Yeah.
know the
you
actual
know, like
numbers.
a Bruno Mars.
I think-
Bruno
I
Mars
think-
pulls that
I
shit
think
off when he is.
Kendrick does it in some of the dopest ways. I think J. Cole does it in some of the dopest ways.
Yeah.
Because they put out content that's not really mainstream content that just breaks down all doors because it just sounds so dope. Like
Yeah.
that Good Kid, Mad City album, that's not a pop album, but
No.
every song is just all over the place, right?
But it has a very catchy hooks.
Yeah.
Has
yeah.
very catchy
It's
hooks.
so hood, so street.
Very hood thing, but what I like my favorite style of album is like obviously people love like very niche style things, but I like when somebody's able to, which is why people will love Good Kid versus like Pimp a Butterfly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Which is
Dope album too.
it's very kind of it's complex but it's simple. So when you make something that's complex but simple, you can reach so many different ears, dude. You can reach so many different types of people.
Generations, because
Yeah.
hip hop's been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Wow.
to capture 40 years of hip hop heads, because we're all still alive.
Yeah,
The people
yeah.
who listened to it at the beginning are still ticking.
Yeah.
And they're still listening to hip hop.
Yeah.
And they're still waiting for someone new to
Yeah.
stay fucking traditional.
Capture the ears, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
When did
that's
you
a
start,
tough one.
When did you start dabbling in creating it?
In creating,
Yeah.
probably 14, 15.
Oh wow.
You just write. That's when you start writing raps,
Yeah.
right?
That was your first thing.
So I'd say like Jay-Z taught me how to rap, and then you just like listen to his music and write kind of to their songs,
Yeah.
things like that. And then for me, I guess like I had a like love for the totality of it, and whether it's like rap music or R&B or whatever, I don't know what genre to put myself in, but it's like because I'm gonna get influence from folk music, country, obviously neo soul, things like that. Because I wouldn't put like a rap album as like my top 3 albums.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what?
Oh,
You know
shit.
what question's coming
No,
next?
Okay.
what's my top 3?
Top 3, baby.
Top
Top
3
3 albums.
So
The top 3 artist catalogs.
top
Artist
3.
catalog.
Oh, artist catalogs. Okay, if we're talking about like for me, like for a
This is
rapper.
the only 3 you can ever have.
Oh,
All
if I can
music.
ever have the
All
catalog,
music,
Yeah.
then I'm going. See, my answers I think are gonna be a little strange, and then I go like D'Angelo.
Ah. Shit.
And so you'll
Yellow brown sugar.
Ooh.
exactly,
Great.
Fuck, I
and
remember that
then
track, man. That was a hot track.
I do. Okay, so if we're talking about the categories, then we have to put like Kendrick because I think he has like a lot. So then I'm forced to put like thing there, and then I'd want like whatever SZA is doing. Then I take that shit. Yeah,
Damn. Yeah, this is dope.
yeah.
Good Days is a jam, man.
Good Days is incredible.
It's
It's incredible. The mix is incredible. Everything about it is incredible.
Beautiful song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the first time those 3 artists have been used.
Never heard them ever used here.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
So what country do you listen to?
What country?
Yeah.
I like Alabama Shakes. That's a good country. JJ Gray, Mofro. That's like it's like very bluesy country,
Bluesy, folky
right?
country.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
that's like
Alabama Shakes is really good. They came out with a big hit when they debuted.
yeah, they did.
That big song. What was that song called again? Yeah, right. It was so long ago, but it was a big hit, and they just wrote it for years, and they deserved it. It was a great song. I can't remember what the hell it is, but I mean, it was a good song at the time.
But their album Boys and Girls is a great album.
Yeah,
Great album.
yeah.
So 14, you pick up a pen, start writing,
Yeah.
and then when did it transition to beats?
When I could like afford an MPC, so I bought it because like I don't think my brain could connect with digital audio workstations like a Fruity Loops or
Okay.
like you could crack those and get those, and it just didn't make sense. So then I had to buy an MPC, which is like a drum machine. And it's a 2000 classic, which is crazy nowadays. You can get them for like $250, $300 back in the day. Now off Craigslist, and now they're like $1,000.
Wow,
you know,
crazy.
like $1,200, $1,300.
Simple is sick, right?
Yeah, it's just nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know, and back then people used to treat those like the trash versions. You
Yeah.
know, but because the 3000 is like I'd say the holy grail of the MPCs, like the J Dilla and all those guys use those. And then you'd have the 60, the 62. Those are like the premier. That's his sound, right? And then you had the SP1200, which is the Pete Rock,
Yes.
right? And so those are like the staples, the ASR 10, which
all
is like
all God beatmakers. You're talking about right now.
yeah. So then you have that's Alchemist, right? So those are like the classics, and then you'd have the XL, 2000 XL, 2000 classics. Those are the ones that the budget ones. But the XL, like they're a great machine, but like it taught me how to make music.
So you're like you're a real student.
Yeah, I love learning about production,
Yeah.
and it's just something. It's just how I am, I guess.
So you were inspired by the West Coast too, then.
I would say more East Coast,
So if I ask you Big or Pac,
and then obviously Biggie, right? It's pretty. It's a way better voice, way better flow.
okay, so because
Well, and he had music behind him,
Yeah.
whereas Pac had beats, kind of beat music, right?
Yeah, and he
Biggie
had Puffy.
had jazz theme, had a jazzy feel to
he
it.
just has some sus lines I can never get over, man. I mean, obviously I know it's for theatrical purposes, but Biggie had some lines that made you be like, "What?
Yeah,
You just say that?"
But the what?
memorable.
The what is a fire song.
Well, you know he says stuff like, "You look so good. I suck on your daddy's dick."
Yeah, and then you're like, hey, let him do it.
What are you saying, man?
I'm Biggie.
If she looks
right?
that good,
He's
then
like, yeah.
And okay, another one
That's
that
how
always
good
blew
you
my mind and no one ever
Yeah.
talks about. He goes, "Don't you know my kidnap kids? Fuck them in the air, throw them over the bridge." Like, what are you saying, Big?
That's rap shit, dude.
Right?
That's rap shit.
Theatrical purposes.
Yeah.
But I always wanted Big to come out with like I just expect too much. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think I expect too much from people that have a platform and have a
Yeah, but he wouldn't even be like he wouldn't even be somebody who I listen to all the time. Like, when we were kids, it was always like,
Yeah.
they're the greatest ever.
the
And you're like, I don't know. I guess they are. It's like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, but at one time, like Kool in the Gang was
Yeah.
the greatest
Yeah,
ever.
they're true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, that's the best ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So everyone has their time and shine, and if you
Yeah.
happen to be lucky enough to
Exactly.
be in that generation that it gets to experience it, then you're golden, man.
Yeah.
But, someone might look back and say, this, I was alive during the, what's the redhead guy's name? Takeshi.
Oh,
Tekashi, yeah.
Oh man, I was alive during Tekashi. Oh, I went to all his concerts. Really? You went to his concerts? Wow, I'm gonna beat you up.
I hate
Right?
that motherfucker so much. Oh my god.
He has a documentary out.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, that's so ass backwards.
Daniel
I'll
Hernandez.
never understand. So, were you a Pac fan at all? See, because I know this mentality. Like,
Yeah.
there's like this.
This is a hot topic for you, man.
Yeah,
He is.
because
Hey?
he's part of that era.
Yeah.
Like he can't get rid of it.
Pac is the greatest to me, right?
Yeah.
And not because. I'm not saying lyricist. I understand there's lyricists that are greater than
that's
Pac.
right. Yeah.
But what he did with his music, I think was revolutionary. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's always this thinking of East Coast heads that Pac's not a good rapper. He just pretty much talk shit. So nothing Pac did moved you.
I guess it was just for me. It's like the music matters the most. I understand, like on a movement base,
Yeah.
then people are gonna be like, okay, that makes sense. He's more on the activist side of things, and I don't know how that needs to be a versus against the other guy. It's like, okay, he can be an activist and a rapper, and he's just a rap. Like they can also just be both rappers. You know, it doesn't always have to be a comparison between the two.
Yeah.
Right? Like who helped old ladies across the street? Oh shit, you know that's why Biggie's better.
That's
You
how I
know?
feel about it.
Exactly.
Oh, it's very sensitive topic around here.
Super, dude.
Very sensitive.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's just that era. That's the question that was asked to you every day at school. Fucking Biggie or Pac, and he's like at home. He's like doing the calculations.
It's great.
The Black Queen.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. Pac just had so many.
I'm really the G-Funk era was my prime time days.
Yeah.
94, 91, 90 to 96 kind of thing, right? Those were my prime time years. And it was G-Funk.
Yeah.
You know, like fucking Warren G at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, Warren G, he was fucking great when he came out, man.
Oh yeah, amazing.
He dropped Regulators, right?
Dude, the quality of production on those albums is out of control, man.
Still sounds great to this day.
They had a perfect science at Death Row.
Oh.
Death Row was
even
great.
like the lesser artists' albums sounded great.
Yeah.
Like Lady Rage was packaged perfectly. All that they just did a great job. Man.
Above the Rim soundtrack.
Yeah, a lot of good
right.
ears.
That was like the #1 selling rap soundtrack. I think still.
Damn, man.
All time. Yeah.
Really?
Above the
makes
Rim.
sense.
You can ask Alexa. Just ask Alexa.
Let's get into this shit. So you produce in the vein of that Jay Dilla, Pete Rock sound, would you say?
Oh no. Obviously influence, but I think it's just like, I don't know. My shit's just like, it is what it is now. It kind of just goes through
You feel like
different
you have-
genres.
You feel like you have a sound.
No, I think I have a sound, but it's not like a genre sound. So it's very hard to like place on what it is.
That's dope.
And then
There should
like and it hits a lot of different styles. So yeah, but it's not like super quirky or anything. it's very
you-
pop based.
be. Yeah, you can hear.
Yeah,
You can hear the rhythms in it for sure.
for sure.
Sorry, I'm just plugging Alexa in.
Oh yeah, he has to get the. He's definitely got to get the
There's
answer.
a tiny buzz.
Yeah, see, this is why we have him here, though. You know, he's seeing all of our tricks, right? So you see all of our tricks, and then you'll be like, okay, this is what I think you guys need to do.
100%.
Beautiful. It's working.
Are you looking forward to the All-Star game this weekend?
Are you a basketball fan? Basketball, or
Yeah, in a way.
are you?
I'm like, I don't think my brain like remembers stats that well. Some people can be like 1997, June 3rd,
Yeah.
and wind blowing westward.
Yeah.
A
There are
young,
people like
yeah.
that.
So the thing, but I do love the sport.
Are
I
you
think
a
it's an incredible
fanatic
sport.
about anything?
A fanatic, yeah. About I'd say, music in a way, but not. I can't remember the stats wise. So it's like if you're asking me about every lyric kind of thing, I just won't be able to remember that. But in terms of studying upon it, like watching different people make it, kind of being on top of like, not always on top of one's it's impossible. Like I'm 33, you can't do that anymore. Like I'm not 17. So, but in terms of like, I guess like the engineering side of things, that's like my thing that I do like learning about, and video production, any like skill that I think is cool, like
Fun to do.
producing videos.
It's
things
crazy
like
how
that.
our skill sets have changed over the generations. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I realized that getting out of the house there, big house, I noticed that, you know, you had to take your thinking away from like tangible skills, you know, such as being able to work really hard or being able to fight, right?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that were kind of old school with your hands. You had to be more on the technical side, and you had to start developing a tool belt of technical skills, right? And just learning shit, like just what we're doing here is like people fucking go crazy. They wouldn't be able to figure it out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, man.
These are skills you got to have. What do you think are the 5 technical tools that every man should have?
Oh, in what world?
Just
Or
today.
just in today's world.
Yeah, man.
And can technical be like carpentry, things like that?
I think when we're saying technical, I think it's that what does the everyman need to really have? Like, what are some good, useful skills that you can have? You know, so for example, one is, you know, knowing a cell phone inside and out.
Okay.
You have that skill. You can pick up a phone and go, okay, I kind of know that, blah, 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 right? That's fucking a pretty good skill, man. Right? Oh, my, an old lady. Oh, my, I don't know what I'm. Oh, let me help you, ma'am. How you doing today? You won't even look at her. You just do that shit. Yeah, you doing okay? Yeah? Right. I love your shoes. Yeah, those are really nice. Where'd you get those? Right? Boom, fix her phone. I've seen you. Yeah. I mean, shit like that. Like, what's important?
Ooh, I'd say,
Video
a little bit
editing.
of photography, a little bit of photo editing. You know,
Oh, it makes sense.
if your girl or something wants you to take a picture of her,
Yeah,
what are
it's
you gonna
important.
do?
Make it pop.
You got to.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Right?
Right? No,
So you're like stuck in a corner, right?
yeah. Have you ever edited a photo of yourself?
In terms of which way? Photoshop? Fuck no. No, not in terms
Photoshop?
of like, in terms of like physical.
Yeah. Like
No.
you're about to send it. You're like, wait a minute, I'm gonna go in there and
Just
just.
there.
No, never.
No, the only time I've ever, see, dude, I'm a little weird like that. The only
Yeah.
time I've ever like edited photos was like for, like
Resume.
promo shit like that we were doing and cover stuff, things like that. But I've never like sat there and been like, "Yo, dude, I look so sick."
I got a blemish. I gotta take this blemish.
Dude,
out.
I've just never been like that.
You should do some YouTube videos of you doing that. Because
Yeah.
people would not fucking believe what the fuck is that?
Have
No.
you ever done it?
Edited pictures?
Yes.
Videos, yes. Pictures, no.
How do you mean videos?
Because all these videos that I do with me freestyling and all that other stuff, I gotta edit the shit out of those when I put them up. So, you know, because freestyles sometimes go like, 10, 12 minutes long, right? And make sure you get all the good shit out of it.
Makes
Do you ever
sense.
freestyle?
Do I ever freestyle? Maybe when I was like 16.
So once you
So half his life ago.
Yeah.
you just put the mic away.
Oh no, like, dude, if we're like doing song creation, you're for sure lyric writing and things like that. And freestyle, if we're just talking about the act of like just rapping, of course, like all the time. So if you're like, but I don't. It's not something that I would like that I desire to be really good at.
But you
Like I would rather
You-
be a better writer.
and you have but you have a freestyle game.
No, I would say just not a freestyle game. But can I write something? Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
If you had one artist that you could write an album for, who would it be?
If I could write it now, okay, I have to write the album for them, like lyrics and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I wouldn't want to write
Would you want to
Pure-
write it for yourself to perform?
and they don't get any input on the lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
see,
what they all do anyways.
That's not the funnest though.
Most of them do that anyways, though. They just get other.
They do. They buy songs and things like that.
Right, like
and
that's-
that's the industry, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because performance is a part of.
Oh, yeah.
Is a huge part of.
It's entertainment.
Songs
Yeah,
as
I
well,
agree.
and just the performance of recording. So somebody who does reference tracks doesn't mean that they'll be able to perform the song in terms of the recording as much as like the actual artist who buys it from them.
100%.
You know, and it wouldn't translate.
It's the business. It's
Yeah.
what it is. It's like films.
It's like films, and you're not gonna say an actor is horrible
Yeah.
because they didn't write the lines, right? And the writer wouldn't be able to act those lines
Yeah.
the way that the actor. It's just they're playing different positions, but
They need each other.
yeah, and there's obviously singer-songwriters too, right? Like SZA's one of those, right? But she's songwrote for other people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
What if you could just write one song for somebody?
okay, if I could write a
One-
song for an artist,
Yeah.
okay, my dreams are like more of working
Yeah.
alongside. So if I was able to work with an artist where we kind of wrote it together,
Yes.
it'd be her.
Damn.
It'd be her. She'd be pretty sick. Yeah. I think she freestyles a lot.
Yeah.
So her writing style is very freestyle based.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I have a girlfriend.
She's probably not listening. I just wondered because you're this scissor girl.
SZA. How dare you?
What? Well, I'm just asking because I'm like
Dude,
I'm trying
have
to
you
put.
heard of SZA?
I have not. No.
I guarantee you heard one of her songs.
Maybe.
100%, yeah.
Maybe.
I've been out of the music loop for like almost 2 years now.
Because was she on radio? I don't think so.
I listen to talk radio.
Weekend is pretty big.
Was it on Vancouver radio? I don't think so.
You use Spotify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just look her up and I'll
Yeah.
listen.
Oh, it'll be easy. Yeah, it'll be easy.
SZA.
SZA.
Did you see?
Oh, I've seen that before.
Yeah. Did you see her when she came?
Huh?
Did you see her when she came?
No, I haven't been to too many live performances,
You
dude.
missed out. You missed out.
Oh, for sure.
She came with the TDE tour. With
Oh,
Kendrick
yeah,
and,
that'd be sick.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and she opened up.
Oh, she's
Oh
good.
man, that was her first ever tour, and her first ever city was Vancouver.
Yeah.
She came and she murdered it. But then she blew out her voice and she couldn't do like, the next 2 weeks.
Is she easy on the eyes?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, she's
very,
beautiful.
She's very unique. Yeah. But
Yeah.
man, she can sing. She can sing. So SZA would be the number one choice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think she's just a sick writer. So
Oh, so she does write all her music.
she does write all her music.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so much better, the artists that write their own stuff, man.
I guess it translates well.
Right,
But-
they just know, like, that feels like there's so much more energy
Yeah.
and substance in their music, right?
It's true.
What about, do you listen to her?
Yeah, I love her.
Dope.
Yeah, I would say Focus.
She's amazing.
It's like one of the best songs.
Great song. Dude, there's
Nice.
so many incredible female artists right now, man. No, like,
Yeah, they're kind of destroying the dudes right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, there's no contest. No contest.
Well, it's turning to a woman's world. I've
Yeah.
been telling you about this.
But dude, men's R&B right now is bad, yo.
It's not horrible. It's just not as popular.
Yeah, there's a couple of decent
It's
artists.
changing.
Have you heard Lucky Day?
No,
Yeah, it's just they're harder to find.
more underground.
They're not as I don't think they're as promoted as the women.
Because you can't talk
Brent
about
Fayaz.
hitting
Yeah,
booty
yeah,
and all that
Fayaz,
anymore.
Fayaz.
Yeah.
You're talking about making sweet love. That you can't do that
No, you
anymore.
can't. Nah.
No, you can't. I mean,
No,
dude,
bro.
Frank Ocean's got some.
He's-
But he doesn't talk about
he's-
sweet. He doesn't talk about like the way Joe does. Like it's
No,
different.
yeah.
But Frank Ocean is also one of the best
One of the-
He's
writers.
just amazing.
Frank's amazing.
And he is LGBT,
Yeah, he's openly
right? He's openly gay.
Yeah.
So there's a different process with him.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't Tyler just come out too?
No, that dude he's in and out all the time.
Which is the hardest thing I
Yeah.
think to do in rap is if you were to be openly gay. You know, that would
Yeah.
be tough.
Yeah, it was weird.
But
I
it
know
needs to
was-
happen.
I know it was tough for Frank Ocean too when he first came out. I remember
Yeah.
I had like satellite radio and listening to all the talk about Frank being openly gay and stuff and being an
Yeah.
R&B singer. And
Yeah.
people aren't very accepting, man. The
No,
R&B
it's
and
really
hip hop
sad.
community are
It's
pretty
really
close-minded that
tragic.
way, right?
Yeah.
I'd say in a way,
I mean,
but I'd say
that's
like
getting
that
better.
it's way different
Oh, dude, leaps
nowadays.
and bounds
Yeah.
getting better.
Mhm.
But in the beginning, he had some impediments. Dude, the guy's so skilled. It's outrageous.
So
man.
talented.
Yeah, Frank Ocean, Miguel's pretty dope.
Miguel's he's cool. I just know if you can show me an album of his that's like sick
Yeah.
front to back,
Okay.
whereas like a blonde is
Oh yeah.
Pretty
Dude,
ridiculous.
Blonde is amazing.
Yeah.
Blonde is amazing. Yeah. No, I can see your taste. I understand your taste. It's like
Yeah.
the antithesis to my taste.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get it.
Yeah.
It's like a specific type of ear. Because Miguel is very like
easy to listen to, radio friendly.
He's the Prince of R&B.
I think Frank Ocean.
Like Prince, as in the artist Prince.
I
He
think Frank
reminds.
Ocean,
Yeah.
I think Frank Ocean's more.
I'd say
Prince.
he's trying to be.
Yeah.
And for
Frank Ocean's
is-
like Michael Jackson.
But for Frank Ocean, it's effortless, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very effortless.
Yeah.
His tone is, you can't recreate that. It just is.
There's that
Yeah.
Beyonce song "I Miss You,"
Yeah.
and I didn't know Frank Ocean wrote it. And
Yeah.
he does his own version of it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! This guy can flex like nobody's
Yeah,
business.
he's so good.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to listen to.
Who's the best R&B singer of all time?
Of all time,
Artist. In your opinion.
in my opinion.
I know it's
I
a
rate,
lofty
yeah,
one.
it's such a tough
But who
thing,
do
but
you-
it's I like albums. If you ask me like what's the
R&B album. That's good. See, you have an old soul. Even though
Yeah.
you're
Straight up,
33,
straight up.
you have a very old soul. You everything you say, and I listen to you, man. It's a very a tangible experience for you. You know, everything you do or that you
Yeah.
involve yourself in, you dive into and you go through the full journey of it, of the experience.
Yeah.
And this is something that you really fucking like, right? There's something in the journey for you. That's why there's no prize for you. You probably don't have anything that you really want in life,
no, it's tough.
right? You probably don't because you're so enjoying the journey of life and you're so caught up in being in the moment and experiencing everything that you're doing. And it's a great thing, dude. Right? It's a great way to be. I'm not that way, and I fucking love people that.
It must be freeing thinking that way.
I guess so, but I guess there's like a time of like getting your shit together in a way
Right.
where everybody has to.
Yeah, but you'll.
I
have-
do, but it's like
You're a
we're
business owner.
yeah, you know, and you want to be like talking about like the next level of shit together, right? So it's like
My girl didn't start till she was 47, and she's
Yeah.
fucking bawling out of control. So
That's so-
it's all about timing with
Yeah.
everything, and never forcing yourself into something where you're gonna have to go backwards and go, oh, now I gotta start over, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole secret. Something you dive into, but you'll do it easy because look at how you're living your life. You're diving in, you're enjoying the journey of shit, and you learn things along the way, and that will prepare you for the ultimate moment where you will shoot in success. That's all it is. That's the secret of success. There's no secret like, oh, they
Yeah.
could say the secret. The secret is experience, and the more you experience, the more you can figure out situations when they come up on you, right?
Okay.
You can get through them. That's the truth, dude.
Are you religious at all?
I would like to not turn it down. So in a way, probably not practicing really well. So, but I think it's like if you go through the questions of the world, questions of the universe, you're gonna be. I guess you'll be in and out of it, right? You could be full on and decide to completely believe it, and full on decide to completely not believe it. And obviously there's like different variables of like, okay, so why did you choose that? It's because you're born into it. Obviously there's so many holes that you can poke into the rationale, right? But it's not, I don't think it's supposed to be a rational thing. I think it's supposed to be something that if you want to encompass into your life, you take it. And if it brings you peace, there's like health and wellness, right?
Yeah.
Spirituality is a part of wellness.
Sure.
And whatever sort of type you want to tie yourself into, that's perfectly fine as long as it's not like encroaching on other people's lifestyles, right?
Destructive.
Yeah. So there's ways to be destructive with all ideas.
For sure.
And I think religion is obviously one of the easy ones to poke holes into and be like the history of it and where it comes from and why it is and everything like that.
And the use of it.
And the use of it,
Was-
and- But that's like more of a human aspect.
Yeah.
And then so if you really look at it in terms of like how humans manipulate everything, then maybe the way that we're believing things have been manipulated, obviously, right? So maybe the pure stance of it is like, how does it make you feel? What kind of
Yeah.
good does it bring into your life? You know?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like you believe in some kind of God.
I feel like for me personally right now, I kind of have to, you know,
Interesting.
just to be in the mindset give it a good chance.
Are you
Being
religious
that kind
now?
of thing.
Who, me?
Yeah.
100% anti-religious.
Yes, for sure.
And that's from experience of being around religion.
Right.
Nothing
I've been
more.
around religion, and I understand what you mean.
What saddens me about religion
Yeah.
That tastes really good.
is the persecution of its followers, the true persecution that happens, and the missed opportunities of the human experience that goes on because of religion. People
Yeah.
change their life and deny themselves things that are human things,
Right.
experiences, dude. You know this as well as I do. It's really tragic that this
Yeah.
happens. I knew a person who married God,
Yeah.
was married to God, and wore a ring on their finger.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, though.
Their whole life, 80
Yeah.
years, they lived that way.
Yeah.
Never kissed a man,
Oh, yeah.
never held another man's hand, never had that experience of connection. Denied, had temptations. And when they were tempted, they punished themselves because they were from that generation.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's obviously the big C. Right?
Dude,
She
honestly,
was a
man,
nun.
We could make him. Man, I could give you some movies of shit that's happened in the communities that we come from, man, with religious
Unbelievable.
people, and you would just not. There's no way to rationalize
Too many things.
people's behaviors. It's
Yeah.
fucking outrageous.
Too many
In the
things
name-
have happened.
in the name of God.
Yeah.
What I think is, if you are peaceful, if you believe in your God and you're peaceful about it, then go to it. It's the destruction and the evil part of it that matters. And fuck, there's going to be that, I think, with everything. you
Yeah,
know?
dude.
Right? There's like that with everything in life.
That's a part of being human, right? Is to be destructive at the same time
And oppressive.
and oppressive.
But I think the most important thing is to keep it out of all institutions.
That's like
You have
kind of
to.
telling us to be robots.
Yeah, you,
Yeah,
And it's
hard.
impossible.
You've got to
hard.
remove it from institutions. It can't be in schools. It can't be in legislature.
Oh, we're talking about religion.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like what were we saying? The two shit that we said. What?
The vapors.
Yeah, no, but seriously, you just
Yeah.
cannot. You just
Well, that's like
cannot
with
be-
sports. They took PE out of school.
Yeah.
What else are they going to take out of school because it makes people uncomfortable?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not even uncomfortable. Like my little one has PE in her school.
Oh,
Yeah.
do they?
But yeah,
Rebels?
You can get an exemption and just sit out.
Yeah, you can get an
Because
exemption.
some people don't want to sweat or just they're just too cool.
Bizarre, right?
Fuck on the field, man.
It's
I
weird.
hate that shit.
But dude, no, of course, separating religion from government and all those things is fair because who gets to be the religion? Who gets to be in part of it? It's too hard.
Gotta go. Gotta
So
Yeah, but all the politicians are Christians.
yeah,
go. Yeah, 100%. And it's in the freaking national anthem, man.
Yeah.
You know, stand on God.
So politics is a part of it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched The Bachelor?
oh, of course,
Have you really?
yeah.
Okay, I watched
When I was
it-
like very young.
Okay,
yeah.
well, I watch it now.
I've
Yeah.
never seen that. I've never
Right,
seen it.
and-
I've
You never seen an
No,
episode of why?
And there
It's televised prostitution.
it is, and it's all American.
Yeah, but it's
It-
just like a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's all a thing, but they are very religious based on that show.
Really?
And
eh?
Oh, of
I have
course.
seen men. They'll sit down with the girl and they'll get all close and they'll talk.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, you know what? I just want you to know that my life is connected with God, right? Like they drop the God bomb.
As
And
I
I, you know,
sample this female buffet.
right? And he checks her out and he's looking at her like, what do you think about that, right? And she's like, oh, I love God too, right? Like he has to confirm that. I've seen it, and I've
Yeah.
seen it on there where they're like, I'm Muslim, you know what I mean? Like a different
Yeah.
religion, and this is not going to work, right? Right? It's what happens
Yeah.
every time. They're like, they go for the next rose, and there's the Christian bitch, and then there's the Muslim bitch over there sweating, looking fine as hell, man. She's looking so good, brown little caramel skin thing, right? But the Christian girl's over here like, oh, I fucking got this, and she has it, right? The rose goes to the Christian girl, and it happens all the time, dude. And that's
I
just
never
that
knew
country.
that.
Yeah, all the time. It's to be North American. It's political and it's religious.
Okay, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
All religions, buddy.
I like
We all have
mindless. I
one.
like mindless entertainment. I'm good with mindless
Yeah.
entertainment, but I can't rationalize. Okay, I just you need to help.
You're
me
out,
understand.
bitch.
This is a show about love, right?
Yes.
The idea is love.
Love
But
God.
one guy
how many women do they get on?
Or a girl
20
gets like
Or a
20
girl.
guys. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
going
so
back
you
and
get
forth.
to Just
And one day it'll
fuck
be
around
like
with
a
20 guys or girls as
Yeah.
you choose.
Yeah.
And this is love.
Yeah.
And then people watch it on TV and
Yes.
say that's the love story that I want. Fuck does that say
No.
about us, man?
I think it's just like a, you know,
It's
Weird
you're taking it is a bit of a fantasy, right?
It's
So
It's
it's
a
like
judging scenario for
yeah,
us.
they're also like they get to be like, yo, dude, like that person sucks, and pick
Yeah.
this one, and I like them, and you don't even know anybody, but you just
yes.
fucking love this person.
And if you ever watch it with a package of girls,
Yeah.
which I've done in my life.
No.
Okay, this is the funny part. I've
Yeah.
watched The Bachelor over the last 25 years
Wow.
by myself.
Oh, that's wild.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
I've
wild.
watched it
Yeah.
with a serial killer,
Oh,
psycho
shit.
killer, killed 5-6 people.
Damn.
We used to watch it. We watched one season. I watched it with a group of pimps, 3 pimps.
Jesus Christ. Yo, your
In a-
life is amazing.
All right. I've watched it with
Your life
3
is pretty
pimps
amazing, yeah.
in a prison jail cell. We used to watch it every night when it came on, way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
3 pimps in there talking about it. And the pimps would be talking about the girls. Ah, look at that fucking bitch. Look at her. Look at her in heels. She can't even walk in heels. Right? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Right? And he's like, oh, look at her. Oh, man, she's just like, she's easy. Man, I'll build that, dude. I'll do this, do that. Get her all ready, right? Talking about pimping these girls. I'm like, whoa. I never
Always
saw
working.
these things.
Always working.
And they would look at me and they're like,
Yeah.
they would look at me, and this is the truth. He'd look at me and go, are men and women equal?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God. All 3 fucking black pimps in the room. They're all like waiting for me to give the answer. Yeah, he's like, are all men and women equal? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know what their answer is.
Yeah.
And I know what my answer is. And so I would just be brave and stay true to myself, and I would give my answer. I'd say, you know what, guys? I make money off of women the old-fashioned way. I love them over long periods of time. Right? Become their friend
Yeah.
and be very trustworthy with them, right? And eventually they'll buy me some nice shit. I mean, it just ends up happening if you hang around long enough, right? No,
Yeah.
but it's hard, man. That was hard. And then I've watched The Bachelor with a pack of girls. Which is the funniest because they're the biggest judgy judges
Oh, 100%,
of
dude.
fucking them all. And until you watch The Bachelor with the girls, or The Bachelorette, sorry, with a bunch of girls, you don't even understand, man. They're just horrible. They're horrible how they talk about men. How they talk about men is worse than how guys talk about girls.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, and Rosie watches some of this stuff, and I hear
Yeah.
it in the background, but she just likes the mindless nonsense.
Dick talk. They did lots of dick talk.
You know,
Not TikTok.
Oh, yeah,
they weren't
yeah.
on
I
TikTok.
believe it.
I was like, come on, man. Really? Is this what we're going to? Right? And you just feel so gross. And I laughed.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
laughed.
how the tables have turned.
Yeah. I know how a woman felt in my presence and my friend's presence in the
Yeah.
90s, probably.
He's like, I've watched this with 3 pimps. And we've
and is that any worse than this?
You know what my guilty pleasure is like this though?
Mm.
90 Day Fiance.
Oh, that's a wild one too.
It's hilarious.
That's pretty good.
That's a crazy one.
I've seen that
That
one.
dude is out of control.
You see the what was it, baby girl Lisa?
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's
that
fucking
was
wild.
The worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't understand.
Oh my god.
But okay, I really still don't get it. So
Yeah.
you're just doing it for the visa, right? Because there's no money involved.
No, it's not for the money. It's for the he's trying to get a
Okay.
visa. Yeah.
You're telling me there's no other way to get into the US?
But he's also trying to be like a superstar at the same time. So he's like
At
free
what
press.
Expense?
Yeah.
At what expense?
At no
He
expense.
took one. He slept with her.
Yeah.
He did it.
You
Yeah.
had to.
I saw the episode, and they woke up together.
That's crazy.
Is that taking one for the team? I don't understand.
But no, that's just desperate to get out of your war-torn
That's
country.
fucking desperate, bro. Kill my ass.
Your
Yeah.
waterless, war-torn country. I need to
Wow.
go.
Yeah, kill me. Fuck,
You
I'm
do
dying
anything.
I'm dying in the war. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying baby girl Lisa's not for everybody, but she's man.
Dude.
Shit. This has been better mornings. Like, God, fuck.
I mean, I've seen guys get out of jail and hook up with girls with zero shame. And you roll up on them, you're like, and they're driving their car.
Yeah, I've seen this.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, you know what? Like, it's like no one has that shame talk with them.
No.
Like, you're gonna get out and you're gonna get desperate, you know, and you're gonna get lazy.
Yeah.
Your meals aren't coming to you automatically anymore. You have to work.
Yeah.
Don't, you know, find the first girl. You know what I mean? And it happens every time, man.
Yeah. It's a weird symptom, man, of coming out of prison and just needing somebody right away, and someone's willing to give it up.
But when I was in there was a program of a letter system where the guys could get letters from girls all over the world.
Okay.
It was like a prison pen pal.
Jesus.
Right? And you would get this data bank of these girls who would be willing to write you.
Wow.
And so you'd look through the sheet. The guy made a fucking photocopied sheet. How he was allowed to do this, we got away with a lot.
It's a binder full of women that
Binder full of women.
Bill Clinton was talking about.
Yeah, and he was like one of those guys like, I'll sell you fucking, what do you like? What do you like, blonde? Like he was taking it overly serious. Well, because you're in jail, you have nothing but
Nothing else to
the
do.
whatever your responsibility is.
his responsibility.
Whatever it is.
I got the book. Right? Hey, can you just lend me the
That's
book so
funny.
I can look at it during
Yeah.
lockup? No, I can't give you the book. It's like, well, what am I going to do with the book? Right? Am I going to jerk off all over the book? Right? Really, what am I going to do? And he had it in plastic too, which is weird. But he'd have it in this plastic binder and it would go around and then you'd look. So once I'm like, you know what? I'm
So
not
you
going
would
to.
get like the faces, the pictures?
Yeah, you'd see the pictures.
Oh, shit.
Because someone would
Yeah.
photocopy them from the website
Okay.
and then put the fucking make a dossier, and they would put the sheets on there, and then you could go in there, and it was always wrinkled because so many guys were flipping through it. And then when a guy found it, like one of the heavies or whatever, would see him, be like, "Hey, Janice from Texas, yeah, I like her. Okay, seal her, like whatever, stop it, whatever, right?" The guy would be like, "All right," he'd write in red. Taken. Taken. Right on red, right over the picture, right? So if you're flipping through the book, you're like, oh, taken, right? So all the really like the hotter ones, right? They're all taken, right? You're like, oh fuck. If you get there late, like if you get there days,
you get baby Lisa.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
it's horrible. But that was a serious deal. And then you would write them and they'd write you back. And dude, they would come to the prison from the States up into Canada. Like fucking from there to there. And they would come in there and visit the guys.
Jeez.
Why?
Lie and shit. Oh, I have known him for 5 years. It's like, no, bitch. Like you just like 2 weeks.
It's like that Manson thing, like that.
Yeah.
that weird kind of evil worship. What is it? What's?
I think there's a draw to those type of people.
Psychotic, man. Because Charles Manson is a maniac. But these women just loved him. Still love him. He's not even here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still got a cult following.
Oh, for sure. But I guess it's just there's something that they have some sort of aura or some sort of like, you know, she wants to fix him type of thing. And, you know, so she sends her picture into a fucking dossier. It's going to be photocopied into it.
I'm going to turn his life around.
But, you know, respect on that guy for being so organized with his task.
Yeah, that's no idea. It's a different world in there.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. You had quite an experience.
Oh, dude, this isn't really... Yeah, dude, you want to know what the worst thing that nobody knows about prison?
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This you'll never hear this anywhere else but here. I guarantee you. And I don't mean to just fucking discuss the podcast right now. You ever heard of methadone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps people get through addiction.
Yeah.
When used properly, it can help. I don't agree with it. And a lot of guys my friends who come sober and they've used it and they fucking hate it. It's worse than the drug sometimes.
Okay.
Well, in prison, you get it. Guys will stand in lineups at like 8 a.m. to get the methadone as quick as they can. And there are some people in the prison that prefer the methadone over heroin.
Yeah.
So they'll have heroin that they want to trade for the guy's methadone in the morning.
So do they do it like the pharmacies where you have to drink it on the spot?
Yes.
Okay.
So they go there.
It's crazy.
So they go there and drink it on the spot.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they walk around the corner. And then they puke it back up into a fucking giant cup.
Dude, I thought he was gonna bird feed it to them.
Quick! I got it's longer than his. No.
Yeah.
He fucking pukes it back
Yeah.
up in there, and then they take that and they drink it with Coca-Cola. It is the truest and the weirdest subculture,
Yeah.
like fucking mind blowing. Like, is this boredom or what is this? Like, just do the heroin.
So
I
addiction,
don't get it.
addiction is all throughout all prisons.
You're a minority if you're not addicted to drugs. Wow. You're a minority. All right? Everyone does drugs because it's just it's a sad place to be.
And how the
It's sad, buddy.
for
Yeah.
a layman that has never experienced prison, how the fuck do drugs even enter the prison system?
How are drugs given to us out here? There's dealers, right?
Yeah,
So the dealers in the prison are the people who have access to the drugs.
it's fucking insane.
So who has access to the drugs in prison? People who go from the street to the prison every day.
Everybody that I've spoken to that's been to prison has talked about drugs in prisons.
That's all the guards.
I'm like, what the fuck? How does it even make any sense?
The guards are the hypocritic. That's why, in my list of hate, this is a true list. Number 1, tow truck drivers.
Okay.
Number 2, correctional officers.
Yeah.
Right? And number 3 is, well, and we're talking jobs, right? So
Yeah.
police officers.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. It's true.
Fuck, so you're saying fuck Rick Ross is what you're saying.
Yeah, all 3 of them. They've all fucked me over so many times. Maced me, beat me up, right? So, but, you know, the correction officers are dirty, man. And I've known of guys making thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands, man, for years and years and years.
It's fucking
Yeah.
bad.
And they never get ratted out by the guys, which is the craziest part. They never get ratted. When the guy gets busted, he never rats out the guard. It's so weird. But with the guard, yes, you would rat out the guy in a fucking heartbeat.
Snitches get stitches, man.
It's true, man. It's really
Yeah.
crazy culture when you really break it down. Like, yeah, I'm not for prison because I think prison is absurd that we're sending guys to jail.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I can't believe we're still
Like
in this.
no circumstance, you think?
Of course, there has to
Yeah.
be circumstances.
There has to be.
There has to be.
How do you feel about the what would you call Greenland style prisons, the Swedish style prisons,
Or like on an island or something.
where they're like completely focused on rehabilitation?
Oh, and they get porn.
Like,
Their cells.
well, these guys, they get to, they'll be in jail for murder, and they'll just be able to walk around their area. They get a kitchen. The correctional officers kind of sit and play games with them. They chill. They talk. They deal with a lot of therapy, and they kind of even. They can even kind of go outside, like they can have a smoke with the correctional officer. People are just like chilling. Yeah.
So what about the punitive part of it? Do you think just being put away is punitive?
I think so. I think it's your freedom taken away,
That's the punitive part.
because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, they just get a kitchen,
Yeah.
bro. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
they just get to walk around. They're
100%.
still stuck where they are. And yeah, if you give, like, we go crazy when we're like, oh shit, he has a PS5. Like, no, but he can't, like this is his life, is a box, dude. So at the end of the day, there were, what's the word, recidivism? What's the word?
Recidivism.
Right. It's a fucking tough one. It's the least in those kind of areas because of everything. But their population is also very small,
Very small.
you know?
But there's malicious offenders.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are in for murder.
Yeah. So
Right.
what do you do with someone that's going to be a repeat malicious offender? Like, you know, they're just
Um,
fucked up.
They have life sentences, but they do still go through the same system. But they're more kind of they know, okay, you're going to be here forever. So you do get to kind of engage in the same system, but there's a good chance you're never leaving, you know?
Yeah.
So but they, you know, they have a daily routine in that
Right.
kind of way.
Right. So it's kind of normal-ish life, but confined.
Yeah, because there's a guy. There's one documentary I was watching, or it's like a series, and one of them he was able to go out and work, so he would just work Monday to Friday outside.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
they just gave him a truck, and he went out to his job. He had a date that night.
What was his?
He had a date,
Yeah.
dude.
What was his crime?
Huh?
What was his crime?
I think his is like theft, you know. So
So it wasn't too bad.
it wasn't too bad. But over here,
No.
if you go to jail for theft,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're not going out on a
No.
date.
No.
So what's your suggestion from having seen it? What would you suggest?
I think it works for small populations.
Oh yeah, only.
But I don't know how much money you would be putting into kind of funding that sort of system of like therapy and all this kind of rehabilitation. Like they're really like trying to break people down and rebuild them up. I don't know how you do that at scale.
People are broken as fuck, man. People
Yeah.
are so broken.
Yeah.
But if we're not willing to invest in like the education system, which is specifically designed to build people up, there's
Yeah.
no way they're gonna invest in the prison
No.
system.
Yeah, I think our education system needs to, if you're going to invest any money, it starts with making all the kids homeschooled. Homeschool the kids, put them in social activities outside of your home, but have them learn at a speed where your parent is like, okay, this is how my kid has to learn. And let the parent be in charge of it. Like if you were in charge of your kids, you saw where their heads were at.
Oh, I fucking love it.
You'd be like, okay,
Love
you're
it.
going to do half your curriculum is going to be like this, and the other half is going to be. You'd craft a curriculum for them, and I think the parents should get paid for it, right? So one parent stays home.
Yeah, you'd have to pay them for
You
it.
have to.
You'd
And the
have
other one
to.
can go to work, and there's no restrictions on shit. If a parent stays home and does the kid, they get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then the parent still feels value of their life. You know what I mean? They're getting paid to do this. This is a job for them, and they're teaching their kid their way, right? It's kind of like quality of life thing, which is I think what we all need. We just need.
Thing huge.
Everyone needs a quality of life boost, and the government is giving away this free money. It's not quality of life. That's not what it is.
No.
There needs to be a philosophy behind it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the classroom. I mean, I like the idea of having a classroom, but the current setup is ridiculous, man. One teacher cannot be responsible for 20 plus kids. One teacher cannot teach 20 plus kids the same thing effectively. Because
Yeah.
20 plus kids, I mean,
But I
everyone
think
learns differently.
But you could have one
Yeah.
teacher that stands in front of the green screen and says, okay, my 10,000 children with their moms beside them. This is what the lesson's going to be about today, right? This is their whatever lesson, history lesson. And moms pay attention too, because you're going to administer the tests that you have there and make sure you teach them and make sure you go over these lessons with them. That's it, right? And I think it would be that simple. So now a teacher's value is how do they present their shit? So all the tech stuff will come in handy, having a screen, having a green screen.
You don't think they'll create a bunch of detached kids because they don't see each other, feel each other?
No,
around each
because
other?
they'll
It's
have
possible.
more time. They'll have more time to play, because you'll have a school system that's condensed. Because you're not going to be able to expect. Listen, dude, the school system was made initially for babysitting. 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Your parents go to work for 8 hours a day. It just coincides too nicely, right? So it's obviously to get your kids out to babysitters. Let's get them to school, and let's teach them all this shit where we can feed them brainwash bullshit that doesn't talk about true history of your country or of your species.
Just life period, yeah.
It's life period. It makes you stress about algebra
Yeah.
and about hard math.
But it is a good, like, I think somebody put it in a pretty good context of you want an educated population, regardless if they like it or not.
100%.
You want them to be educated in the sense of a general
Like the basics.
kind of, and as maybe dumb as algebra sounds, we're heading towards like a digital age in terms of like analyzing information and data and things like that's a very useful skill at that point. Like that will probably be one of the biggest jobs, like cybersecurity and all these things. Like this is like where the world's going And so anybody who wants to know how to do that, you better learn algebra.
Yeah.
You better learn calculus,
Mathematicians
right?
are applied to that
So,
for sure. Yeah.
in that sense of all that kind of stuff, it seems stupid, but you don't want to take that away from a populace. Like, you don't want to take calculus and biology and
Yeah.
chemistry. It's like, it could seem stupid, but it's like, okay, everybody's talking about not wanting to be controlled. It's like, why would you take information away from yourself to take control? I don't know, but I do understand, like, varying kind of, and they're trying. They're really trying, and I think it is producing a very progressive mindset in young people, like an extreme progressive mindset. So everything's about racial discrimination, and everything's about I would say current events, which is obviously gender identity and all these kind of things. So they are trying to push those ideas onto the kids, and they are trying to make them think in that sort of way. My only idea is, like, when you have a sort of agenda, whether you think it's good or bad, it's like, okay, then it's like, okay, we're all going on this mindset.
Right.
And
But then
maybe it takes away from the reality of the world.
So what's the trade-off then? Because you don't want a populace. You don't want a populace that doesn't care. You don't want a populace. You don't want a populace that's numb to the differences of other people, and you also don't want everyone to be babied all the motherfucking time, because we baby the shit out of kids right now. So if you're gonna find a balance, what's the balance?
Okay, the balance is probably a very expensive balance, which is like a practicum / education system, maybe where they get practical experience in different aspects of the world. If you, like, obviously, if you're very wealthy, your kid does get to experience the sort of lifestyle where they kind of get to travel and learn and get sort of internships during the summertime and things like that. And, like, not everybody has access to these things, but I do think, like, that's a one option of a way, but it's very expensive.
So it would have to be like a massively taxpayer-funded setup.
Yeah, if you want like somebody to develop each single individual into like this multi-skilled person, right?
Isn't that what we want, though?
It is what you want, but then is like, when does the onus go onto the parents?
Right.
So versus the government, right? Yeah. But then, like, how can you say to every parent, like, you're a bad parent because you didn't do that? Like, I don't like that either. So it's like the world's so nuanced,
And the thing is, like, I think the frustrating thing for me is, because looking at this, is that we have these massive bloated systems in place, right? This education system is massive across the country.
Yeah.
Big bloated system with all this money in it. Even though it's completely underfunded, there's still a shit ton of money in the education system
For sure.
could be used more effectively, and none of it's being used effectively. Like, I can't tell you how many years that my kids have been in elementary school, middle school, high school, where the teachers are still buying their own supplies.
Yeah.
That's so unacceptable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So, dude, I remember when I was in elementary school.
And they don't even make that much money.
Yeah, they
so
don't.
imagine.
They don't. I've
You know?
talked to the teachers, and they do it because they want to do it.
Yeah.
It's the most incredible thing to hear somebody say, I want them to have good experience.
Yeah.
I want them to have a good education. They want these things.
Because they work with kids, so at the end of the day, they can't think of their life purely off business decisions,
And these are the people that need to be getting the budgets. The people that really give a shit about kids' education, they need to be given the budget to determine what is most effective to create students that are going to be the most effective. You have one teacher, 30 students. I think you add 5 teachers' aides in the classroom.
Yeah.
So that every kid gets feels like they're getting direct access to someone that can teach them and help them if they have questions. Because I hear from my kids all the time, man, kids are scared as fuck to ask questions. They don't want to feel dumb. They don't want to feel stupid.
For sure.
Kills students.
Yeah.
Totally kills them, right? If you get embarrassed like that in the classroom once, and you're growing up and you're learning, and that's your experience, you never want to speak up again.
But see, you can do that all digitally. So you could be, you
really want to get kids out of these motherfucking schools.
I know.
I just, do you know why? Because now you can replace these antiquated schools that get old really fast. 'Cause-
Yeah.
Right. And you can replace them with something else there.
You
right?
definitely can. I do like the social aspect of whether it's a good experience or a bad experience. You know,
Yeah.
it's an experience at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? So, I think people maybe learn about humans throughout high school and things like that.
You mean like the whole social.
The whole,
Pecking
yeah,
order
the
type
order and all this kind of stuff.
But what
and
if you just had high school?
what if you just had? That's fair.
You know what I mean? And
That's
took
fair.
all the kids out of grade
Yeah.
school and made that connection with the moms. So the moms have 5-6 years
Yeah.
where they
That's huge.
get their kid ready for high school,
Yeah.
right? And this helps educate the kid, the moms too,
Bars.
right?
Mhm.
You educate the parents, and then the parents are like, okay, this is what I know is going to happen with my
Creates
kid.
a different dynamic. for
Fuck
the
yeah, man.
relationship.
And then
Mhm.
they go, because remember the jump from high school to middle school? They invented middle school
Yeah.
because high school is too big of a jump for the kids. Like to go to be in an 8 to 12, from going from the 1 to 7, that was too much.
Huge.
Remember that? So they put the middle school in all of a sudden. That was the American
Dude,
system.
I went to a school that was 8 to 12, and the kids in grade 12 were giants. And
Giants.
we were fucking 12,
Yeah.
13 years old, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Kids.
scary shit back then.
Yeah.
It was
Scary.
And I mean,
Mm.
even middle school kids don't understand it because they get
No.
a natural progression of puberty and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And size.
to adulthood,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
understand where you fit in.
Oh, yeah. You felt so bad.
How has this COVID changed your guys' business?
We've used online quite a bit, and I think that's something that will probably stay regardless of the convenience of it
Yeah.
for parents
Mhm.
is quite high. So I think it's kind of expanded what you can do and what is possible. So it's obviously
Some silver lining.
you do see some innovation
Mhm.
in yourself, but it's like obviously you would rather not have been there
Of course.
to have for that to happen. But you know, it's expanded in that kind of term, and I think education. The craziest part is like this school year where all these kids have to finish these classes within 10 weeks, and I think that's been the most insane thing that's hurt them in a way, and they've never been used to that sort of schedule. And it's almost like a university college schedule.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they're just like, dude, I'm like 14. I don't want to
Spending
like
way too
study
much.
every single day
Yeah.
of the thing. But I think that's where it's been head. But I think like you said, the school system's so old. They had to figure out, how do I build this blend of things? How do I create this system that works for everybody? And how do I get people back into the school, but also follow a system where they're in the school, out to school, in the school, out to school? And then we're like, this makes sense. It's just a gong show, in a sense.
It's not good. It's not good.
So it's just, but you can't really hate them for that.
Yeah, I
'Cause
know
they
they're trying,
didn't really-
man.
they're
I
trying.
get it. I know they're trying, and I know it's a lot of work, and I know it's a lot of risk and,
Yeah.
and very little reward because no one's gonna say you did a good job, even if they do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's from the top down, right? There's just so much stupidity and bad information, even from our own governments. Like I was having this conversation earlier with somebody talking about how theaters are closed, but restaurants are open. And
Yeah.
theaters, no one talks to anybody. No one says a motherfucking word.
Yeah.
You just sit there and
Yeah.
watch the movie. You could just separate it by rows. But I mean, there's no logic in what's open, what's closed.
No.
Walmart's open but small.
Yeah.
Grocery stores are closed. Like,
Mhm.
there's no rhyme or reason. So, we're not being led by people that are able to make smart decisions.
Mhm.
And I mean, we obviously they're elected officials. We understand all that. But
Yeah.
what qualifies them to be able to fix it? I hate saying fix, but affect situations positively like this. They have no experience in crisis management and what happens when there's a quarantine. These people aren't educated in these things.
No.
They're kind of just hoping for the best, and the people around them are
Yeah.
just flying by the seat of their pants, and then we get shit shows like this. Because
Yeah.
there's countries with zero COVID, man. There's
Yeah.
countries that are doing it.
Hmm.
So it's not that it's not possible. It's just that we just don't have people in power that are able.
Yeah. That's what we need.
It's limited capacity, man.
Yeah. So I've been up since 5. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, where can they find your school?
Us?
Yeah.
We're Discover Learning.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's right across JO.
John Oliver, Mount
Right
High
across John
School.
Oliver.
John Oliver.
J.O.
Yeah.
Jacobs, Jokers.
Oh, wow.
And where
Yeah.
can they find BearClub?
Any streaming platform possible. So Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple
And
Music.
it's spelled just like it's supposed to be.
Yeah, one word. And that's it.
Dope.
Oh, I used to have it on me. I found a ring from John Oliver.
What?
A grad ring. I used to carry it on me all the time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what happened to it. And that's it. It was a while ago. I found it on the street. I'm like, I'm gonna track this person down. And I realized that's a lot of effort, man. I went on the online sites, tried to try. I'm like,
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Well, thank you for sitting in tonight.
Yeah, no
It was
problem,
very nice to
man.
meet you. We always
No
like
problem.
I like to meet new people like this way. Yeah, I just met you. Yeah, come on the podcast. Grill them for an hour under the lights, hour and a half. Right. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I'm Elite. That's ACDJ.
Yes, sir. Every day.
Faraaz in the building. High Phrase Podcast, y'all. Make sure you subscribe, throw some comments, like the videos, all that fun social media stuff. Peace. Well done, man.
Very good.
Very well done.
There we go.
That's very good.
Yeah.
It's a long. Does it feel like a long time?
Well, how long was
No, because it's like shooting the shit, right?
it? How long was it?
What do you think?
Hour and a half?
Hour 13 minutes.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah.
We were trying.